What's going on, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, back at it with another NFL record prediction. And this time, I'll be giving you my NFL record prediction for the Minnesota Vikings in 2021. Give you my thoughts on which matchup that I like for the Vikings, and give you which matchup that I don't like for the Vikings. So before I give you my record predictions for the Minnesota Vikings in 2021, if you do, make sure you put the thumbs up to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more options. And don't forget to comment your opinion below on what you think your prediction for the Minnesota Vikings is. Do you think the Vikings are going to win the NFC North? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? Or you think they're going to regress again this year? So just let me know what your thoughts are. Well, anyways, let's get started. Okay, week 1, the Minnesota Vikings kick it off with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I have the Vikings winning, and the reason why is that I just feel like the Vikings are just the better team, and they have the better quarterback. I mean, they have the better coach. I mean, yeah. And I just feel like that, those weapons, I just feel like that the Vikings offense will have a big game against the Bengals defense, which is not really good. And I think Dalvin Cook will have a big game. I mean, yeah, and the Vikings, I feel like they upgraded the corners to like cover the Bengals receivers, and they upgraded their front seven, who can really give the Bengals offense a lot of issues. But I feel like it could be a little closer, but I'm going with the Vikings. Now, next game, they have to play against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is a tricky one, though. Now, this game can barely go either way, though, because, the Cardinals could be a sneaky team this year because of the improvement they got. I mean, they upgraded their front seven, and, they added more weapons for Kyler Murray. I mean, this game can barely go either way, though, because you know that Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, they're both borderline top 10 quarterbacks. I mean, yeah, but I want to pick the Vikings to win because their secondary can match up well with those Cardinals receivers. But I really think the Vikings defense, I mean, it's good enough, I know they upgraded the corners to shut down to match up well with the Cardinals receivers, and they upgraded the pass rush, to like slow down the Cardinals offense. But I think this game could be a shootout. That I think it's going to be super close. But I don't know. I kind of call it a trap game, though, for some reason. But you know what? If this game is in Minnesota, I will pick Minnesota. But since this game's in Arizona, I'm probably going to go with the Cardinals because I just think that the Cardinals on paper can match up well with the Vikings. Because I think they upgraded their defensive line, to like slow down Dalvin Cook in that rushing attack. But I don't really know if their corner position is good enough, to like cover the Vikings receivers. So yeah, I think the Cardinals find a way to win. Next game, they have to play versus Seahawks. Now, I kind of call this game another game a trap game, but I feel like this game can go either way as well. Because, I want to go with the Seahawks because, the Seahawks always play the Vikings tough. But you know what? I know Russell Wilson's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, but I think this game right here is going to be very close. But I'm going to go with the Vikings because I just feel like the Vikings, can match up well with the Seahawks really good because they have, the corners to cover the Seahawks receivers. And, they have the pass rush, to like slow down the Seahawks offense and give Russell Wilson a tough time. So I feel like this game's going to be close, though. But I think the Vikings are going to pull it off. But if it's in Seattle, I would switch sides. But I'm just thinking that Minnesota is going to pull it off. Next game, week 4, they got to play versus the Browns. Now, I think when I did the Browns video, I picked the Vikings. But I could definitely change my mind on this. But I feel like this game can go either way, though, because I feel like the Browns, now this could be a bad matchup for the Vikings because I feel like that the Browns upgraded every position and upgraded every spot. I mean, their front seven improved, their secondaries improved. I mean, I feel like that their Browns defense can really give Kirk Cousins a tough time. But you know what? I want to go with the Browns because I feel like the Browns are going to be a top team in the AFC. But you know what? Since this game's in Minnesota, I'm going to take the Vikings because I believe that the Vikings, what they can do defensively, I think they can find a way to like slow down the Browns' rushing attack and all that. And I think, their secondary with the corners they have, I think they'll find a way to slow cover like OBJ and Landry. But I think this game could be a shootout or in a high scoring game though. But I think the Vikings are gonna pull off the upset in a close one. All right, next game they have to play versus the Lions. I have the Vikings beating the Lions, and then they gotta play the Lions week 13, and I have them sweeping the Lions because the Lions are gonna be one of the worst teams in the league. So yeah. So And by this point, I mean, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. So, yeah. So, I think the Lions are just in rebuilding stage. So, yeah, that's why I got the Vikings beating the Lions twice. Now, next game, they have to play versus the Panthers. Now, this game can barely go either way, though, because the Panthers seem like a really good, talented team. Because I feel like that, they upgraded their defensive line. They upgraded the corner position. I mean, they upgraded every spot on defense, but their receiving core is really good. Now this game can go either way though. But you know what? Panthers can barely pull off the upset, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings here because I just think the Vikings are the better team, and I just think Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback than Sam Darnold, and they have the better coach. So yeah, and I think Kirk Cousins is gonna find a way to pick apart that Panthers young secondary. So yeah, that's why I think the Vikings can find a way to pull this one off. Now to get a bye week, and then after the bye week, they have to play against the Cowboys week 8. You know what? I think we remember this game from last year when the Cowboys, beat the Vikings without Dak Prescott. So you know what? I don't think the Cowboys are going to pull it off again. I'm going to say the Vikings win this game because I feel like the Vikings, they're at home. And I just really think that the Vikings, defensive line can find a way to, slow down the Cowboys' rushing attack. And also, I think that the Vikings secondary is a lot better than the Cowboys. So I think that the corners they have, I think they can find a way to, cover the Cowboys receivers. But I think this game will be close though. But I think the Vikings are going to find a way to win in a shootout type game. So I feel like the Vikings will get their revenge on the Cowboys because the Cowboys beat them in a close one last year. So yeah, that's why I think the Vikings will win. Next game, they have to play versus the Ravens week 9. Now this game right here is very interesting though. But you know what? I mean, I want to go against the Vikings, but I'm going to take the Ravens because I just think the Ravens are the better team and they have the better quarterback. So, yeah. And, it's at home, and Baltimore is usually a tough place to play at. So, yeah. And also, I just think that the corners they have, I mean, I feel like they'll find a way to, cover the Vikings receivers and all that. So, yeah. But I feel like it's going to be close, though. But I think the Ravens will win this game. All right, next game, they have to play versus the Chargers. Week 10, they play versus the Chargers. Now, this game right here is very interesting, though. Now, that can go either way, though. Because I think we remember this game from 2019 when the Vikings, when Phil Rivers was on there. I mean, he had his worst performance. And I felt that the Vikings, were able to won that game. But you know what? I think this game can go either way, though, because Justin Herbert is a challenge in this game. Because he's a baller. But you know what? I think the Chargers will be a playoff team this year because of the rise of Justin Herbert, and he's that special. But I think this game will be super close and high scoring. But I know it's in LA. I mean, I really want to pick LA because, usually California teams who are in their stadium is usually a hard place to play at because, sometimes it gets hot down there. But I'm going to go with the Vikings here because I just think what the Vikings can do defensively, I mean, they have the corners to cover the Chargers receivers. I mean, they have the safety to cover the tight end. And, they have, the pass rush, to slow down the Chargers offense, and they can find a way to give Herbert a tough time, even though the Chargers offensive line improved. But the Chargers can barely win, and it's in LA, but I think the Vikings will win this game. Now, here's the thing. The Chargers are really not good at stopping the run. And I think the Vikings are really good at running the ball, and they can really, really expose the Chargers defense. Because I don't really know if the Chargers have much of a pass rush to slow down the Vikings offense. So that's why I think the Vikings will win this game. But it will be close, though. Now, next game, they have to play Week 11. They have to play versus the Packers. I actually had them beating the Packers once, and oops, my bad. I actually had them beating the Packers once, and then I have the Packers beating the Vikings on Saturday in Week 17. Now, the reason why I have them splitting with each other is because they always own each other. So, I mean, there's no question that. So, yeah, maybe that's why. All right, next game, Week 12. They have to play versus the 49ers. Now, this is an interesting game, though. Now, this game can barely go either way, though, because the Niners, have questions at the quarterback position. Like, we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback. Rather, it's going to be Trey Lance or Jimmy G. But you know what? I don't really think it matters to me, but I think this game will be close, though. But you know what? Since the game's in San Francisco, I'm going to take the Niners because I just think the Niners are super talented, and I feel like their defensive front can find a way to slow down Dalvin Cook in that rushing attack, and I think it's going to give Kirk Cousins some issues. And they'll also have the secondary. I mean, I feel like their secondary is good enough, to like cover the Vikings receivers. So yeah, so that's why I think San Francisco will win, but I think it will be close though. All right, so we're going to skip over to the next game, Week 14. They have to play the Steelers on Thursday night. I think in the Steelers game video, I had this Vikings winning, but yeah, but I don't really know, but I want to go against the Steelers because the Steelers defense is good enough to stop the run, but this matchup could be a bad matchup for the Vikings because the Steelers are really great on defense. But you know what? I feel like the Steelers are going to regress this year because they don't have the corners they used to. I mean, they have some losses on the offensive line. So I think the Vikings are going to find a way to win this game because I just feel like they're the better team. And I think Kirk is a better quarterback than Big Ben. So, yeah, I just think the Vikings, with their defensive front, I think they can find a way to, give Big Ben some issues and get that Steelers offense a lot of issues. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it will be close. But I think the Vikings find a way to win. All right. Next game, they have to play the Bears on Monday Night Football. But you know what? I have the Vikings splitting with the Bears because, the Bears, they always seem to choke with the Bears a lot. I mean, they've been doing it every year. So I think they'll win. They'll lose the first game because the Bears, they always play the Vikings tough. And they'll win the second game versus the Bears because, they play the Bears tough. But you know what? I think the Vikings are just a better team and also they have the better coach and a better quarterback. Like, I don't really know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Bears, whether it's going to be Andy Dalton or it's going to be Justin Fields. But I wouldn't trust a rookie playing versus a really good defense like the Vikings, which I don't really think is going to happen. All right, now, next game, Week 16, they have to play versus the Rams. Now, this game right here, I almost call it a trap game, though. Now, this game can barely go either way, though, because, the Rams, they have a really good defense, and the Vikings, their defense is really good. But you know what? This game can barely go either way, but I don't know what to choose from. But you know what? I mean, I want to say the Vikings win this game because they're at home. Because on paper they can match up well with the Rams because they have the corners. Because they upgraded the corners position, to cover the Rams receivers, and they upgraded their front seven to slow down the Rams rushing attack and all that. But you know what? I think this game's gonna be super close, and but the Vikings can barely pull off an upset. But I know it's in Minnesota, but I'm gonna go with the Rams though because I just feel like the Rams are the better team, and I feel like that Matthew Stafford's gonna get his revenge on Kirk, after losing to him twice last year when he's with the Lions. So yeah, and I think the Rams defense is really gonna give Kirk Cousins some issues, and also they have the secondary, to cover the Vikings receivers as well. So yeah, so I feel like it could be a shootout type game and a high scoring game, but I think the Rams can find a way to win this game. So yeah. So at this point, I have the Vikings at 11-6. I mean, I can see the Vikings being better than that. I mean, I can see them winning maybe 12 or 13 games, but I say their maximum is about 12. But you know what? I think the You know what? I think their maximum for the can be about 12 wins this year. So I think the Vikings is probably gonna land somewhere from 9 to 11 wins this year, and I have them at 11 wins this year because I feel like that the Vikings are gonna take a step forward this year because the improvement they made in the offseason. I mean, they improved, they upgraded the corners positions. I mean, they upgraded their front seven to be good. But when you look at the Vikings schedule, it's kind of tough though. I mean, with the Vikings with 4-2 in their division, 7-5 in their conference, 7-1 at home, and 4-5 away. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, when you look at their schedule, I mean, their schedule because the teams they got to play in their schedule, they have to play one of the best, and they have to play the best division, which is the NFC West, because they have to play the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Rams, and then they got to play a tough AFC North schedule, which they have to play the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers, and then they play against the Cowboys and the Chargers. They play the Packers twice. They play the Bears twice. I mean, man, this seems like a hard schedule though. But I kind of make it fair enough to say that the Vikings are gonna lose to. I feel like they're gonna win one of the Cardinals or the Seahawks game, but I'm not gonna say they're gonna lose both of them at the same time and win both of them at the same time. But I just think the Vikings will beat the Seahawks and then the Cardinals beat the Vikings. And then I think it is kind of, in another way, I think it's kind of fair enough to say that the Vikings are going to win one of the Browns or the Rams games because I kind of feel like that, both these two teams with the Rams and the Browns are going to be a top team in their conference. So I don't have them losing both of the Rams and Browns game, and I don't have them winning both of the Rams and Browns game because they're going to be one of the top teams in the conference. I mean, yeah, so I feel like that both these two teams could be hard to beat. So, yeah. So, I think it just depends on how the Vikings do in their division, and I think they will make the playoffs, but it just depends on how they will do. But, I think the division is going to lead towards the Packers or the Vikings. But you know what? If Aaron Rodgers is not in the Packers, then I think the Vikings are going to win. Because if Aaron Rodgers is not the Packers starting quarterback, then I think the Vikings are going to win the division. But if Aaron Rodgers is starting quarterback for the Packers, then I think the Packers will win the division. So, yeah, that's how I see it for the Vikings. Well, all right, guys. Just let me know in the comments section below about how you feel about the Vikings and what your predictions for the Vikings is. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, just let me know in the comment section below. Well, it's Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.